He had walked into the small downtown diner with a purposeful stride, his polished shoes clicking softly against the worn linoleum floor. His tailored suit and perfectly groomed appearance made him stand out among the regulars nursing their coffees and quiet meals. Yet, despite the outward appearance of success, there was a sharp calculation in his eyes, a silent test ready to unfold. Christian billionaire Jonathan Harris was known for his ruthless business acumen, but today curiosity and perhaps a hint of loneliness brought him to a modest diner in Ohio. Far from his penthouse offices and boardrooms, he scanned the room looking for someone who might reveal the true nature of kindness in a world so often driven by money. At a corner booth, a young waitress moved quickly yet carefully between tables, balancing plates with an effortless grace. Her name tag read Sarah, though most days she simply hoped her customers would notice the effort she put into each smile and every polite interaction. At 24, Sarah had been struggling to make ends meet for years, juggling college courses, rent, and her mother's medical bills. Life had a way of testing her patience, yet she carried herself with a warmth that didn't go unnoticed. Jonathan's eyes followed her as she approached his table, wiping her hands on her apron with a polite smile. He slid a crisp $20 bill across the table and, with an enigmatic smirk, said he would leave her a special tip if she passed a little test he had in mind. If you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Sarah, unaware of the true nature of the test, looked down at the money and then at Jonathan's expectant gaze. She had faced situations before where people tried to test her patience or her honesty, but something in his manner, though intimidating, felt different. With a quiet steadiness she spoke, her words measured yet kind. She said she would never accept a gift or tip without earning it through genuine service, and that if a person truly needed her help, she would offer it without hesitation, no matter the reward. Jonathan raised an eyebrow, surprised. She wasn't trying to impress him with flattery, nor was she bending under the weight of money. Instead, she spoke the truth, soft, unwavering, and entirely human. Jonathan felt a flicker of something he hadn't felt in years: humility. He had built his empire on shrewd deals, often exploiting weaknesses and cutting corners. Yet here was a young woman, carrying more responsibility than he could ever imagine, who measured life not in dollars but in integrity and empathy. As Sarah moved to serve another table, he found himself watching her, not as a customer, but as a witness to something extraordinary. Over the following weeks, Jonathan returned to the diner under various pretexts, each visit a quiet observation. He watched Sarah laugh with regulars, comfort a struggling mother with a warm word, and even refuse an inflated tip from a brash businessman who tried to test her honesty in a way he once might have. Every interaction left him more unsettled yet more inspired. He realized that wealth could never purchase the grace and dignity that Sarah exhibited naturally. Each moment became a mirror, reflecting the kind of life he had never lived, the kind of choices he had long ignored in his relentless pursuit of power. One rainy afternoon, the diner was quieter than usual. Sarah hurried between tables, balancing a tray of hot coffee and sandwiches. Jonathan had chosen a corner seat, observing silently as she helped a young mother calm her crying child and offered a comforting smile. He finally understood that his life, defined by contracts and numbers, had missed the small transformative acts that could leave a lasting imprint on someone's heart. In that instant, he knew he had to act, not through business, but through a gesture that carried true significance. That evening, Jonathan returned to his penthouse and pulled out his will. It had always been a document of cold, calculated decisions, assets distributed to distant relatives, charities chosen for tax purposes, and investments mapped to ensure maximum return. But tonight, staring at the pen and paper, he realized how empty it felt. What mattered wasn't money or power. It was the chance to make a tangible difference in someone's life. Without hesitation, he began rewriting it, dedicating a significant portion of his wealth to Sarah, not as a handout, but as recognition of her integrity, compassion, and the lesson she had unknowingly taught him. Days later, Sarah received a discreet envelope at the diner. Inside was a letter, elegantly written, explaining that a client had been inspired by her honesty and kindness, wishing to invest in her future. Along with the letter came an account set up to cover her education, her family's medical bills, and even the chance to open a small community center in her neighborhood. At first, Sarah could barely comprehend the gesture. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked around the diner, the place that had been both her stage and her sanctuary, and felt the profound weight of someone's genuine admiration and trust. It wasn't just the money, it was the acknowledgement that her daily acts of kindness mattered, that integrity could reshape lives in ways far beyond personal struggle. Sarah's heart swelled with gratitude, not only for the immediate relief it brought her family, but for the reminder that goodness was never invisible. Jonathan's silent observation had transformed into action, and in doing so, he too was changed. He realized that the greatest legacy wasn't measured in numbers or titles, but in the lives uplifted by unexpected compassion. In the weeks that followed, Sarah used the resources thoughtfully. She finished her degree, ensuring she could pursue a career in social work, and dedicated part of the inheritance to a small foundation, providing meals and tutoring to struggling children. The diner remained her grounding place, a symbol of perseverance and humility. Jonathan, quietly watching from afar, knew he had made the right decision. A simple test, meant perhaps as a curiosity, had revealed a truth that no amount of business acumen could teach. The power of integrity and a kind heart could change the world, one act at a time. This story reminds us that every small decision, every act of honesty or kindness, carries the potential to ripple far beyond what we can see. Sarah's unwavering character, tested in a quiet diner, ended up reshaping not only her life but the life of a man who had long forgotten what it meant to be human. Sometimes, it's the simplest, most sincere choices that leave the deepest impact, and Jonathan's rewritten will was a testament to that truth. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps spread the message that integrity and kindness are forces capable of changing lives. Before you go, comment below about a time someone's honesty or compassion left a mark on your life. It could inspire others more than you realize. Life has a way of surprising us, often when we least expect it. For Sarah, it came in the form of a billionaire's quiet test, but for Jonathan, it was a lesson in humility and humanity. In the end, both were changed forever, proving that no act of genuine kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.